Now, the liberal Group 1 Wisconsin now criticized you for asking questions like this. Vote fraud by someone claiming to be another person happens a few thousand times, a few hundred times, a few dozen times, less than a dozen times each election. Now, expert testimony at trial in this case suggested that voter impersonation was virtually non-existent in Wisconsin. So critics of this poll question say that it kind of introduces this false information.
Sure.
What's your reaction to that?
Well, our point is that we're simply asking people what they perceive to be the fraud. We're not arguing that it's one or the other of these. The evidence is quite low levels of voter fraud, but the concern in the public is the real question. 60% continue to support a photo ID, for example, as a requirement of voting. What is driving that? And what you see here is about 20% of the public perceive fraud at the level of thousands of votes per election. And interestingly, they believe that our election officials are also falsifying thousands of votes per election. That, I think, should be very disturbing to everyone, that the loss of faith in the integrity of our elections extends to such a level when the evidence from trial and other studies shows a considerably lower level. But there are advocates on the other side that certainly point to large levels of fraud. I think the important point here, though, is not what the facts are, but rather that a significant fraction of the public has such a high view of fraud.